Jesus says that the truth shall set you free, meaning that the more we understand about the reality of things, the better off we'll be. But I think that most folks who are of my generation and younger have a pretty tenuous relationship with the concept of truth. And I believe this is because they think truth is mean. This is particularly the case when it comes to the sort of moral truths that Jesus concerned himself with. People think that to have moral standards is to be a judge, or worse, to be judgmental. If you say you believe in moral truths, then you're probably rejecting somebody. And who wants that? Religious people, unfortunately, often play into this by using their standards to kind of draw lines in the sand, to make moral litmus tests. So, it's easier, it feels better to just decide that standards aren't really standard, that truth is somehow negotiable, or that it's too unknowable to apply confidently, or something like that. But the way that we feel about the truth doesn't really change the nature of it. I mean, truth is truth. Reality is reality, and it's neither generous nor miserly. It is what it is, and in that it's entirely uncompromising. A true moral standard does not bend, but God does. In fact, God is freakishly generous. The hang-ups come when people think about moral truths and how they relate to our lives, or the big issues of the day, without having a proper perspective on God's generosity. God's message of moral truth cannot be understood apart from the message of God's crazy generosity, what we call His grace. Now, grace is a huge word, and grace is such a foreign concept that I think that almost no one really accepts it consistently. I would say that grace is the biggest stumbling block when it comes to people approaching God well. And you might say, wait a minute. The sense of God's judgment is the greatest stumbling block when it comes to people approaching God well. Actually, I think the problem is grace, because if you don't understand grace, then it will be impossible for you to think about truth or morality without feeling judged or maybe even condemned. You simply cannot discuss morality unless you first understand grace. You need to understand that while there are truths and realities and standards, God is far more interested in forgiveness and restoration than He is with measurement. And our judgmentalism, or our fear of being judged, it's really a symptom. And the root of it is our inability to understand grace. So if we want to talk about the hot button issues of our day, if we want to talk about sexuality or homosexuality, or whether there's more than one true religion, or whether religion causes war, whatever it is, then we have to do it with a grace perspective. Otherwise, people will be more concerned with judgment and rejection than with an honest evaluation of what's true.